Once Econet Wireless was removed as the operator, Vodacom were first offered the management contract because somebody has to run the business. Our partners in Nigeria were financial investors. They were not operators. So Vodacom South Africa sent, as our 200 people were taken out of the country, Vodacom arrived under a management contract to run the company. And of course, our friend Mr. Henry Maseka submits the invoices once again to the new managers. And the new managers process the invoices and they are paid. Because I had people who were sympathetic to us working in the company, I was told about what had happened. And so I wrote, and I'm telling you for the first time, I wrote a letter to the U.S. Justice Department because Vodacom is a subsidiary of Vodafone, which is an international company, and it falls under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Justice Department in terms of what is known as the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. So I wrote to them, and I said, look, $8 million or more has been paid out, which is essentially bribes to state governments. The U.S. Justice Department contacted Vodafone, the parent company, and advised them that they had this complaint and they were launching an international inquiry to establish what was going on. Once the U.S. Justice Department's inquiry began, Vodafone mounted their own inquiry. They sent in external auditors to the company, and they discovered that what we had said was true. And Vodafone ordered Vodacom to cancel its management contract, withdraw from Nigeria, and they dismissed the deputy CEO of Vodacom South Africa, who had negotiated the whole transaction with Henry Maseka and his team. So that is how Vodacom and Vodafone ended up withdrawing from this saga. So once this happened, our friends, our erstwhile friends, Mr. Maseka and Mr. Ibori, headed off to the Middle East. And there they went to talk to a group called Zain from Kuwait. They offered them the same shares. And Zain said, you know, we'll go ahead. So Zain proceeded now to make a fresh offer. So we are outside the company, but a new offer has now been made by Zain. And we receive, Zain, after their due diligence, were obviously uncomfortable about the fact that a shareholder had a right of preemption, even though they claim that they don't believe we're a shareholder. So we had this situation where when it was convenient to the parties, they would selectively allow us to have some rights as a shareholder, and specifically they confined it to letting us receive the offer. So we received the offer that had been made to Zain, and it was an offer to buy 65% of the company, so it had moved from 51 to 65. And the offer was for just over $1 billion for that stake. And we were given 30 days to pay. And I said, no, we'll take the challenge. It's fine, despite the flaws that were there. So we set up a team with international advisors, and we went about the process of raising $1 billion, which we pretty much did within about 2 to 3 weeks. The difficulty arose when it came to the payment process, because we had to be given transaction documents for us to be able to pay, including an account where the money was to go and be held. So while we call this an escrow account. And they were just not forthcoming in giving it to us. And so we had this money sitting in a bank account at Standard Chartered, and yet we could not make payment. So after 30 days, Zain and the selling shareholders declared, we have not paid, therefore they are now proceeding to sell to Zain.